Hi there. As you can tell probably by the wreaths behind me, Christmas is approaching rapidly. Whenever you are watching this right now, it is being made just a couple of weeks before Christmas. Anyhow, guys, this is my second attempt today to do a video, as usual. My videos, as I may have mentioned before, are basically me sitting in front of a camera and rambling for a while. So they are often rather disjointed, and this last attempt has gone well beyond just disjointed. So let me try again. First of all, even though this time of year we do try to be positive, sometimes we need to deal with the negativity that we have in our lives. And part of my negativity is a result of this device right here. I have become too, I guess dependent is the right word, on technology. I find myself now staring at my phone way too often. I find myself watching YouTube videos that I really don't have that much interest in. It started out innocent enough. I wanted to know more about cameras and technology and photography, and so I watched cameras and technology and photography videos. Over time, though, I realized that most of the camera videos were simply gear videos, just ads for new gear for the most part. Some of the ones looking at older gear were actually more interesting. So I needed to change that. So I started watching more that dealt with photography itself. But again, a lot of them always ended up skirting back to gear. So what am I going to do? Well, I have to get away from these devices somewhat. Think about it. I'm 70 years old. That means that I started out, my journey with technology started out with a black and white TV set with one channel. By the time I hit high school, we had graduated to 2 channels. Not that you could tell the difference, because you basically got a lot of the same programming. Finally, we got a color set by the time I started university. I went to university. Did I have a computer? No. I had a scientific calculator, but that's because I did a degree in science and mathematics, so it was a handy tool to have. But a scientific calculator at that time was it was an investment. It cost quite a bit, and you took real good care of it. Telephones. There was, in my house, until I was, I think, 12 or 13 years old, we didn't even have a phone. That's when we got a phone, but then it was only used for phone stuff. Like landlines are used for. Anyhow, that took me to my university days. In my university days, I had a mechanical typewriter. When I made a mistake on a page, I either tried to white it out or I started over. I had a Kodak Instamatic 126 camera with the drop-in cartridges that took mediocre pictures at best. But it was fine. I just needed a few pictures. I hadn't gotten into photography as a hobby yet, and 35mm was a little out of the budget of a poor university student like me at the time. I didn't watch much TV when I was in university. I had other things I could do. I could read, I could walk, I could talk to people, I could get in discussions, I could do all sorts of things face to face with people, or all by myself without the need of technology. Anyhow, by the end of the 70s, of course, we had cable TV. We had lots and lots and lots of channels. I had finally purchased myself a 35mm camera, and things were starting to change. VCRs showed up. Not only did we have all these channels now, but we could time shift. What a concept that was. We could actually record a show that was on at a time when we couldn't physically watch it, so that we could watch it later. The technology. Anyhow, that took us through the 80s. In the 80s, I got into computers, starting out very, very, very humbly with a Commodore VIC-20. By the 1990s, we had computers that could do lots of things. By the late 90s, we could actually get on the internet and send emails and read posts on news groups. As we get into the 2000s, of course, now things took a really rapid shift. By the late 80s, we had gotten a cell phone, but it was just a phone. And its purpose was simple. We could leave the house, and the kids could find us if they needed us. I know, sounds pretty mundane, doesn't it? But that was the main purpose for it. That technology advanced pretty rapidly, so that by the mid to late 1990s, we were actually rudimentary texting on the little flip phones that we had at the time. By the 2000s, things changed pretty rapidly. I had gotten my hands on one of the first versions of Photoshop Elements. With it and a scanner, I scanned a lot of my 35mm prints and edited them. Badly. But I mean, it was the thrill of being able to do something like this. That, of course, took us right into the 2000s, where digital cameras showed up and smartphones finally, with the I guess the BlackBerry was really the kickoff point before the iPhone came along. Smartphones started proliferating, tablets started proliferating, laptop computers got more and more powerful. Suddenly we were a connected group, and we lost something. We lost the ability to just spend time with ourselves. We lost the ability to just be productively alone. For me, I managed to stay away from a lot of the technology for a fairly long time, but eventually I became a YouTube addict. My YouTube addiction has carried on now for years. And I'm not talking about making videos for YouTube. I'm talking about consuming. Now, this is the part I hate. We talk now about about content creators. I hate that term. Content creator does not imply quality. It simply implies that you are making something and sending it out there. That's all. And consuming content. It sounds like, cans of soup. It just doesn't ring well with me. Unfortunately, I was one of these consumers of content. So I'm trying to get away from that. I'm trying to now curate what I watch to the point where I'm watching things that actually have some value to me. As for my own videos, this is just a talking head video. I know that. This is just a rant from an old man sitting in front of a camera. At least it's Christmassy. But it may get some people thinking. I know my audience is small, but I also know that most of my audience, or most of my regular audience, will comment on this. And they'll let me know if I've basically hit a nerve. I mean, are you in the same situation I'm in? Do you need to make some changes? Well, give it some thought. Okay, folks. I'm hoping in the upcoming year to do more videos. I have a strange problem about doing videos. When my wife was working, I always had the house to myself, so doing a video was a private thing. Now, of course, she's retired. So doing a video, I have to come up with well, I have to psych myself up for the fact that it's not as private anymore. But I am in a separate room. I have decent lighting. I have her handiwork behind me. And I think I'm going to be able to work with this quite well. So hopefully my next video will not be in 6 months' time, but be a little bit quicker. Anyhow, folks, I will say Merry Christmas to those of you who say Merry Christmas. I will say Happy Holidays to those of you who don't. Regardless of what your beliefs and particular values are, let's make one thing clear. This time of year should be a time of goodwill. So let's all practice that goodwill. And until next time, bye for now.